How's it going everyone, it's me, Vivi, and welcome back to the channel. So according to a new recent rumor, a big PlayStation IP is getting a revival treatment. This rumor comes from Moore's Law is Dead, a content creator who goes by the name Tom. Okay, first and foremost, should we take anything seriously from this guy? My word of advice, no. I've never heard of Moore's Law is Dead. I'm not saying he's 100% unreliable. Heck, some people call him a PC insider. The thing about this is, it's still a rumor. Regardless of how credible this guy is, don't believe everything you hear. And from the stuff I've read, this guy is a complete mixed bag when it comes to reliability. Tom also apparently heard that the next God of War is getting revealed during the rumored State of Play by Sony in August. However, Cory Barlog, director and story writer of the latest God of War installment at Santa Monica Studio, well, he shared a tweet. Either he's trying to not get people to get too overhyped just yet, or this could be his way of saying, no. Whatever you heard these past couple of days, guys, no. Do not expect a God of War reveal next month. That's probably what he's trying to say. Yes, God of War PlayStation 4 got revealed in mid-2016, and the game released in 2018. Going with that information, you might think, yeah, August is a perfect time. Well, not exactly. God of War took 5 years of development. It started development in 2013, if we do the math. 2016, that's like 3 years after they entered development. So going with that, I'd expect a reveal of God of War 5, or 2, whatever you'd like to call it, in 2021 at this point, especially with the whole new PlayStation 5 architecture. There were even job listings back in June, lead writer and lead narrative writer. If it is for the new God of War game, I wouldn't be surprised. All in all, a God of War sequel is inevitable. That's all there is to it. Now let's go back to the big PlayStation 5 IP revival. Tom's direct quote is as follows: "A revival of a mainstay of PlayStation, one that used to be a bigger tentpole franchise, and Mark Cerny is working on it." So the two key things to take into account here: tentpole, or mainstay, and Mark Cerny. So we're supposedly getting a revival of a big PlayStation franchise. Now what exactly defines big? That's what we have to wonder. Are we looking at popularity or simple nostalgia? The other thing, Mark Cerny, there's already discussion going on about the idea of Jak and Daxter getting revived. Why? Because Mark Cerny was involved with Jak and Daxter back in the day. More specifically, he was programmer of Jak 1 and 2. Look, I'm not getting my hopes up, but a Jak and Daxter revival is due. Heck, it might be very beneficial for Sony. The game being brought back to the surface has a lot of potential. Look at Spyro the Dragon, look at Crash, look at Ratchet Clank, which is basically thriving right now. Jak and Daxter would benefit so much from a comeback. Heck, Sly Cooper. Yes, we don't have a rumored game in the works, or anything like that, but speaking of rumors, the TV show might get an announcement soon. You know, the show might air on HBO Max. Sony's willing to take a risk with Sly Cooper in that media department, so why not Jak and Daxter to some extent? Fun fact, during the tech talk for the PlayStation 5 with Mark Cerny, he showed a Jak 2 map design of Haven City. To be honest with you, when I saw that, I was very surprised. I was not expecting that at all. Out of all games out there, Mark Cerny talks about Jak and Daxter. Who would have thought? So Mark Cerny worked on Jak in the past, and shows a map of Jak 2 during his presentation. Honestly, those are the only two things that would give weight to this theory of Jak and Daxter coming back. Other than these two, nothing. Last time Jak and Daxter were relevant, we had collector editions by limited run games, and PlayStation 2 emulations on the PlayStation 4. I'm still surprised, by the way, that Ratchet Clank nor Sly Cooper got that treatment on the PlayStation 4. To me, that feels like the smallest risk Sony could take with Ratchet Clank and Sly. I'm just surprised. I guess Sony didn't have the studio for it, at least for Ratchet Clank and Sly Cooper. By the way, Insomniac Games never made HD ports, for example. Like, out of all developers out there, you'd think, okay, Insomniac Games would emulate those games on the PlayStation 4, but no, they usually don't handle remasters or, emulating games. The collection on the PlayStation 3, by the way, was not done by Insomniac Games, don't forget. Mark Cerny also worked on other games. Look, we just cannot forget that fact. We have the likes of Spyro, Crash, and even Ratchet Clank, the PlayStation 2 trilogy. Now look, we are at least aware that Cerny has fondness for 3D platformers. Don't forget, he also worked on Resistance, another long-lost Insomniac Games IP. There's Killzone 3, there's Knack, the list goes on. Mark Cerny working on a revival, it could honestly be anything. So I won't be too quick to get excited here, folks. I remember what happened last time. The 4chan rumor. Yeah, 4chan, I know, my bad. That rumor, I think, 2 days later was debunked. How? Well, the source was from a Jak Daxter fan Discord server. I felt the video, at that point, was completely irrelevant, and gave basically false hope after discovering the truth. So now the video is no longer public, you can't find it. Okay, Vivi, you're saying 4chan is unreliable, but what pushed you to make a video about it? I guess it was all of those news articles with those big headlines that pushed me to talk about the rumor, but yeah. Rule of thumb, 4chan, don't break your heads over it. At the end of the day, if a Jak Daxter game comes to fruition, I'm up for it. Completely. It would benefit from a complete looking at the timeline we're in. Jak Daxter deserves a reboot. Not a remake, a reboot. Keyword. What they could do is they focus on the core mechanics of Jak Daxter 1 and expand upon it, basically labeling it as a brand new Jak Daxter game. Why would they do this, you might ask? Well, from a business perspective, I feel like it'd be more beneficial to garner a new audience. Hence, a reboot of the franchise. Like, there's so many things I'd love to talk about this reboot, if it were to ever happen. But for now, if Jak Daxter returns, I'd expect at least a restart of the series, and focus on the 3D platformer feel of the first game. I mean, honestly, if you compare it to 2 and 3, they were really inspired by GTA. By the way, I did make a video on that, how the team transitioned from 1 and 2. The difference is massive. So my 2 cents, guys. Jak coming back, you say? It's gotta be a reboot. Maybe a remake 1-to-1. But I'm leaning more towards a reboot of the first one and perhaps even get sequels following that new reboot. Back then, there was Bluepoint Games in the equation. Oh, they were working on this game, it was a mystery and all that. But right now, we are fully aware that they're working on a Demon's Souls remake. So Jak Daxter tied with Bluepoint Games? I'm not so sure at this point anymore. Plus, I do not expect Naughty Dog to work on Jak Daxter. They tried making a Jak 4, but it turned out to be a disservice according to Naughty Dog, so they quickly moved on to The Last of Us. Plus, if you're wondering about the team, it's a complete different story. The people who worked on Jak back in the day, they're no longer at Naughty Dog. It's a complete different studio. Like, I could count with my fingers the number of people that worked on Jak that are still present at Naughty Dog. That should tell you how much the team has changed since then. So with that said, this is it for the video, guys. If you have your own thoughts, theories, or anything of such sort, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for watching.